Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. I cannot believe I have not covered this soundtrack already. Last Action Hero soundtrack. This was, if you were buying CDs in between 1990, 92, I think? Something like that. I can't read it on the back here. 93 looks. No, is that 92? Say 1992. If you were buying CDs between 1992 and 1994, chances are you own the CD because it had every band on it from the day that was anybody almost. The movie, we're not going to get into the movie. You either love it or you hate it. You love it because you appreciate the campness of it. You hate it because you don't appreciate the campness of it. That's how I'm going to chalk that up. Okay. Album's up with AC/DC. Brand new song straight for this soundtrack called Big Gun. Good tune. Not a song that never gets the recognition it deserves nowadays. Never gets played live. Basically, it was forgotten about after this soundtrack kind of cleared out. Kind of like AC/DC was sort of forgotten about after this soundtrack kind of cleared out. It was just how music was flowing and changing at that time. This was also, though, while AC/DC was hot off of their Double Live album. So there was a lot going on with this album. That is followed up by one of the things that helped kind of end AC/DC, in a manner of speaking. Alice in Chains. So we got some grunge going on here. We go straight from that early 90s hard rock heavy metal kind of vibe to grunge with Alice in Chains. What the hell have I actually enjoy this song. There actually is not a song on this soundtrack I don't enjoy. What the hell have I is really enjoyable. It's really good. I should point out, some of the songs on this soundtrack were just put on this soundtrack. Some of the songs were taken from albums. I don't necessarily know which ones are which in all cases here. I know some started on here and ended up on albums afterwards. Get to that as I go. Megadeth, Angry Again. Another tune. Really enjoyable, really good. I've actually talked about this tune already before. It's kind of standard for for Megadeth, especially for that time, but enjoyable tune. If you want to hear more about it, my Hidden Treasures review. Queensryche, Real World. I can see why Queensryche wasn't for everybody. They fall in the same categories where I put Avantasia and stuff like that, where they definitely have that whole power metal kind of vibe going on, especially on this song. Really pushing with the pretty and nice vocals, but it's a nice juxtaposition compared to the last three songs we've had in there. There's some real quality here. It's not just, the same stuff layered upon layered upon layered. Speaking of, we go from nice and well done, well orchestrated, planned out metal of Queensryche to the arena ballad rockers that are Def Leppard, also using similar production styles and techniques. The song Two Steps Behind. This song blew up beyond belief. Oh my god. This song was everywhere, it seems, for the longest time. To the point where it was almost annoying. Then you got Anthrax, Poison in My Eyes. Now, I'm going to be the first one to say, I'm not a huge Anthrax fan. And it's not that I dislike Anthrax. Part of it is I haven't had enough exposure to Anthrax. And the exposure I have had to Anthrax, they're not huge standout kind of band. You know what I mean? Great musicianship, great vocal performances, stuff like that, but almost a generic kind of sound. I know there are people that are cursing me out right now for saying that. But when you listen to Poison My Eyes, it is one of the more generic kind of sounding songs on this album. Um, in the middle metal kind of genre, you know, like after Queensryche, after Def Leppard, you're now in Anthrax, and it's polished as well. Like everything on this album is pretty polished. So it's just not quite working the way you would hope that it would work. But it is still fantastic all the same. Once again, there's not a bad song on this album as far as I'm concerned. Aerosmith, Dream On. But this is not the classic Dream On. This one is performed at one of the, I think it was the MTV Music Awards. It doesn't have all the details written on the back here, and I don't remember off the top of my head. But it was performed at the 10th anniversary, or some MTV Music Award 10th anniversary or something. I don't know. And it was orchestrated out, and it sounds really pretty, really nice. Definitely a nice addition as opposed to having the classic version of Dream On here. Now we're back to Alice in Chains again. Now, if you look at the bands that were going on here, you know, you got a little grunge. Alice in Chains is basically most of the grunge in here. But it's not even all metal. It's, you know, some hard rock. And the Aerosmith that is on here is classic Aerosmith, but, you know, it gives you some good classic rock that way. Alice in Chains, a little bitter. I'm not a huge Alice in Chains fan. I've covered one of their albums, Black Gives Way to Blue, which was the first one after Lane Stanley had passed away. I don't mind Alice in Chains in song, you know, a song here, a song there, you know, kind of in a mix. And here they're great. An album of theirs on its own, no, hard pass. Then we get to Cypress Hill. Okay, so Cypress Hill was huge, and I remember Insane and Membrane was everywhere, and there were a couple guys that really just overdid it, you know, like they were just totally like fucking woo. And I enjoy Cock the Hammer. I think it's a good tune. I really get into it on here. Insane in the Membrane, I could do without ever hearing again. And because of these, and it was always the jackass guys too, you know. It wasn't any of the decent dudes that were like, hey man, you guys should. These were the guys where you really didn't want anything to do with them because they were, you know, they seemed completely useless. And part of me wishes I had gotten a little more into them. Part of me is fine with not getting a little more into them because, you know, I've heard various things over the years here and there, and I don't know. You know, at the end of this video, man, leave me in the comments if you think there's a Cypress Hill album I should check out or certain songs I should check out. Go for it. Let me know. Alright, next up we got Fishbone. Now, I have never been into Fishbone. I have never listened to anything from Fishbone. I know nothing about Fishbone. And the song Swim, I love the opening. Hey, everybody, the pool is now open. And I just really get into the song. Not a song or a band that I would normally listen to, honestly. Same with Cypress Hill. A little more hip-hop rap element than I'm usually into. But once again, I've never listened to anything from Fishbone, so I don't know what any of their other stuff is like. That's what the comment section's for. Tell me what you think. What I should listen to from Fishbone after listening to this. Once again, there is no song on this album I don't enjoy. There is no song on this album I feel a need to go out of my way to skip. You know, this is one of those albums. Everybody had it because we all listened to it all the way through. It was a great album to put on and just let it play through. After that, you got Tesla, Last Action Hero. So, you know, like, once again, we're back to that more metal phase. This is 92 metal. The metal was still going pretty strong. this album is almost like a great swan song to the end of metal in the early '90s, and where music was going. Tesla Last Action Hero is such a metal, glam metal kind of song from that time period. I think it's a great soundtrack kind of song. It's got the perfect amount of cheese to it, with it being, still a good solid tune with good solid music in there. Tesla, one of those bands that, both get too much credit and not enough credit at the same time. Too much credit because they did one song acoustically that was a cover that everybody loved the revive of it, Signs. And then not enough credit musically because, like, not enough people know they have other songs besides their cover of Signs. Yeah. And then the album finishes off with Michael Kamen and the Los Angeles Rock and Roll Ensemble featuring Buckethead. So this is Michael Kamen. Most people will know of Metallica S&M fame, the original S&M. He's the one that, orchestrated the orchestra parts and was the conductor behind the symphony with that one and whatnot. Long before that, he did Jack the Ripper, the theme Jack the Ripper for the character Jack the Ripper. Is this great big giant climactic part from these movies within the movie. Great part. I really dig this. Listening to Buckethead open up and let loose with the guitar is fantastic as well. This also says a lot about Buckethead too. This is '92. Buckethead was already around, was already made a name enough where he showed up on this as Buckethead. And here we are in 2022, and Buckethead is still a relevant topic of conversation when talking about guitarists and artists and the artistry of being a guitarist. And this is good stuff. Okay, of all the soundtracks that are out there, and all the soundtracks I'm ever gonna talk about on here, this is one of those soundtracks that I honestly believe people should have. It's like the heavy metal soundtrack. It's just such a great, eclectic combination of songs that represents a very specific period in time that gives you a great diversification while staying within the same musical genre almost on its own anyways, Like Cypress Hill, while having a huge hip-hop element to them, very much belong on this album when you listen to the part that they're in and that. Same with Fishbone, they sound great in the element that they have going on this album. Should I have checked those two particular bands out more by now? Sure. Queensryche, I never really gotten into. I've got friends, all my friends seem to be into them. I just never really got into them. Tesla, I've heard a couple of the albums over the years. Alice in Chains I've discussed. Megadeth, well, I've covered Megadeth. AC/DC, I've covered AC/DC. I haven't gotten into Def Leppard, but that's because when it comes to Def Leppard, at this time, I only have a greatest hits album. And I might eventually get into covering that. I'm not sure. I should get into some Def Leppard. Let me know what you think. I was thinking about covering the new album. Should I do the new album? Let me know in the comments section. And with that, I'm going to leave it at that, folks. Let me know in the comments section what you think of this soundtrack. Let me know. My cat is getting into crap. That's what you can hear in the background. Let me know what you think of this soundtrack. Let me know what albums or songs I should check out from Cypress Hill and Fishbone. Or Anthrax even, I have all Anthrax at my disposal thanks to my buddy Drew, so, I can check it all out. Anyways, folks, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification button. There's a link below that goes to my Patreon. Feel free to throw me a few bucks. Feel free to share the video. Peace, love, take care.